Recording?
Yeah, we can start recording. Hi there, everyone. I'm here at Tewkesbury Medieval Festival with Todd.
Hello, everybody.
Of Todd's Workshop.
Yep. And Todd Cutler.
And Todd Cutler. And as usual, you've got your stall here.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know Tewkesbury Festival, it is, I don't know if it's the oldest festival in the UK, history festival, but it is absolutely crazy. It's a place of legend. So 15th century, big battle, all that, really big market. That's why I'm here. Yeah. And yeah, it's just kind of a crazy place with a good beer tent and loads of great customers and a great vibe.
Great. So you're here trading, and as usual, you've got some new stock. And yeah. How many new swords have you released this year?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. 6.
Okay. Yeah. 6. Yeah. So
with some more coming.
The range is growing.
Yeah, very much.
I think one of the things that I've been saying since I first started the channel is reenactors get swords that weigh correct weights and have a proper feel to them if you're ever going to hand a sword to a member of the public.
It's like you were saying yesterday, actually, that you walked past a conversation where somebody picked up a sword and they went, "Oh, they really are heavy, aren't they?" It's like, not one of my swords.
Yeah.
It is because blunted swords, the way they're made, you've got a lot of mass out the end. You have to counterbalance that or you just can't use it. And suddenly the whole thing just goes...
Yeah, yeah. And it just changes the feel of them.
Totally.
They feel more like clubs than swords.
Well, they are more like clubs than swords.
Yeah. So, talking about light swords, one of the new swords for this year is very small. So here it is. There it is.
So it's a Custille. And I can't actually remember how long the blade is on it. I'm going to say it's about 55 centimeters. So about 21 inch, maybe something like that. And there we are.
So a friend of mine has just got one of these and I saw it and instantly I called it the Hobbit blade because it's just like a sword, but it's also, it just looks so small. And basically, my first instinct was, that's not a sword, that's a long dagger.
Well, there we go. Just going to put this away because we are, and for the noise as well, we're, in the middle of trading, in the middle of an event. So I'm putting that away for safety.
Yeah, sure.
So, Custille, it is a long dagger or a short sword. Yes. And that's actually sort of part of the definition of it, really. So the Custiliers were a bunch of French brigands, basically, end of the 14th, beginning of the 15th century. I suppose, it's a time of trouble in France. You've got the 100 Years' War kicking off, and it's not war all the time, so you haven't got people fighting all the time. So sometimes they're fighting a bit, sometimes they're not. And if they're not, and they're, they've got tools of the trade, they go out and be brigands.
Yeah.
Now, Custiliers were part of that whole atmosphere of the time. Not that much is known about them, but they were named after their weapons. So the weapons that they favoured were Custille.
Yeah.
And the description of that is that it was a very long knife or a short sword.
Okay.
So you can assume that it's a very long knife or a short sword.
Yeah.
But it's effectively sword styles.
Yeah.
Now you look, there are none that I know of, tell us if you do, none that I know of in museums, and none that are actually labelled as Custille. They're sort of one of those things that have faded into obscurity enough that it's just really hard to bring it back.
Yeah.
You can look at manuscript pictures of the time, and again, as ever with artwork, isn't it? There's interpretation.
Yeah.
So is it a regular dagger that they've made look big because they're trying to emphasize the weapon in that picture? Is it a sword that actually they've made smaller because of the framing of the picture? It wouldn't work if it was a full sword.
Yeah.
So it's a bit difficult. You can't point at a picture and say that is a Custille.
Yeah.
But you can say that guy in the picture looks like the kind of guy we're talking about.
Yeah.
And he's got a weapon that looks about the right kind of size.
Sure.
And that's what I've done. And that's all I can do. And as far as I know, if anybody says this is a replica of a Custille, so they can't say that.
Yeah. So from a manufacturing point of view, I assume it's from a manufacturing point of view as to why you would choose one of these, right? Because reach is quite important, but then cost for these lower status soldiers might play a big factor in.
I don't think so, in honesty.
Okay.
Because smaller things generally cost you less.
Yeah.
It's a given. And there is going to be, because the blade's shorter, you can make the pommel smaller.
Sure.
Everything can be a little bit lighter. So yes, you are saving money on materials.
Mm.
But the cost of making a guard and a pommel, bar the material cost, the actual labour cost is basically the same. It doesn't really change. The technology there. Making the blade, yes, it's going to be cheaper to make a shorter one, but not vastly.
Okay.
So I think it was a choice. And you do get choices like, we got Katzbalga here behind us. They're short. They're for close quarter fighting. They're for street fighting, room fighting, crawling on the field when you're really up and close. And the longsword doesn't cut it. Oh, bad joke. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
And so it could be that kind of thing that they're just really handy in inns and in just tight situations.
So I've done a video recently about the why lances fell out of fashion, and one of the reasons I said for that was that it's most of the time on campaign you're actually carrying something rather than using it.
Yeah.
So having ease of carry, I guess, will also make a big difference.
Actually, that's a good point I hadn't considered. Yeah, good one, because these guys are living on the road.
Yeah.
Because what they're not doing is setting up a camp and hanging out there, because that doesn't work if you're a brigand. So yes, transport portability. So maybe that's a good part of it.
Yeah.
And carrying that around and wearing something like, say the size again, it's small, is a hell of a lot more convenient than a longsword.
Yeah, and my longsword's quite short, but even then, like when I kneel down, I've got to be careful about what I'm like knocking it or knocking something.
Exactly,
else.
and things like moving through woods, bushes and scrubland, moving through marketplaces, running away. These are all things that longswords are just not suited to, really. So maybe it's as simple as that. I don't think it's the economic side.
Okay.
That I think what you've got is something that's long enough to be effective, and certainly long enough to be intimidating and to work. But short enough to be convenient.
Cool.
So I think that's probably what it is. So for the manuscript picture that I chose, you can see there's a very slight downturn to the guard. You can see that they have a wheel pommel, double-sided, seem to be fullered. I think I worked off about 2 or 3 pictures of possibles, and that's all I can say. So is that a copy of a Cusile that existed? No, it's not.
No.
Is it a decent interpretation of what it probably was like? I'd say yes, it is.
I think there's an important thing there of having items that someone in the medieval period would look at and go, oh, that's a Cusile, rather than having everything needs to be something from a museum, because then we have survivorship bias and things like that. If everyone's wearing the same Avant harness or, that sort of thing, or carrying the same dagger, then
it doesn't work.
It's as much a reenactorism as anything. So having those things that would not have looked out of place in the period, and a medieval person will go, that's a Cusile.
I mean, that's what I tried to do with my work, actually, is in the nicest way, try to make it not stand out. Because if it stands out as being really weird or really unusual or really super finished or really super decorated or bling or something, it's not a real thing that would have been on the marketplace in South London. So that's what I aim at. In terms of what it is, it's small, it's fast, it's very handy, it's excellent in tight spot, nice pointy blade for nooks and crannies. It's a great little thing. I mean, what's your opinion of it, Zach?
So I am so impressed by this, to be honest, because it's so light, and point moves.
Remember, it's like 500-ish grams.
The point just moves so well, and you can see from the design, this is going to be very easy to get into gaps, which when you're fighting against someone, even in some armor, that's really important. It's very dainty. You wouldn't really be wanting to. You wouldn't really be wanting to. Wear gauntlets.
That was nearly my tent roof, by the way.
you wouldn't really want to be wearing gauntlets with this. But then a lot of the manuscripts show people in otherwise, you know, quite a lot of armor not wearing gauntlets, and that's just a fact of it. You know, we very much value the use of our hands. And they did too, of course, but sometimes the best defense is a good offense. And
Yeah,
if you can move your hand better and get the strike in first, then
I think one of the things about that is I don't do the fighting, you do, Zach, but you make choices. You know, when you say about we value our hands, of course they value their hands too, and that actually in a way more so.
Yeah.
Because if you get a couple of fingers cut off, well, you've got state security, you've got voice operated dictation systems. You know, it's not actually going to make that much difference to your life. If you're a working man or a fighter and you lose 2 fingers, actually that could basically be the end of your life.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, you fight not for your life.
Yeah.
And that changes how things happen.
Yeah.
And they seem to make choices like not wearing gauntlets or saying, well, you know what, today I might have to run fast, so I'm not going to wear leg armor.
Yeah.
But they're still facing archers.
Yeah.
They're making choices that you look at them and go, it's getting crazy. Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
You can see it in the pictures. They're doing stuff and you're going, I just don't get it.
Yeah.
But they did do it.
Yeah.
They choose not to wear armor at times.
Yeah. And it's one of those things, you know, if my gauntlets foul a hit and I'm too slow to get one in, that's not me dead. But if that happened to them, then that's it. So yeah.
And I mean, I'd argue that again, brigands, it's going to be a motley crew. Some are going to have stolen, want to wear gauntlets, or other armor, whatever.
Yeah.
Other guys are not, because it's like you said, if they're spending, 6 weeks on the road or whatever, that's another bit of weight that they have to carry.
Yeah.
Another bit of bulk.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, thank you very much for showing us this. It's like I said, for something that shape-wise is exactly what you'd imagine a sword would look like. It's so interesting because it's also, once you see the scale of it, not a sword, but it's a big part of our history. So
it is, and it's kind of interesting that it's. Is it that obscure? I don't know. It's obscure in the sense of we don't know very much about it.
Yeah.
And I suspect we probably never will.
Yeah.
We would have uncovered more information by now. So Todd Cutler Castile. It's a sword for elves and hobbits and thugs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you soon.
See ya.
Thanks for making it to the end of this video. Do like, do share, and subscribe. If you want to support the channel more and are able to, then we have a Patreon, which is linked down below. And these lovely people over here are already doing that. So massive thank you to them and to everyone who helps to support the channel through the algorithm. Thank you guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.